Hi everyone, it's good to be back. I hope you had a very restful holiday break. Today we're going to do something fun to start the back to school week off, and we're going to create snowflakes. And if you haven't figured that out already, I hope that you watched the video for Snowflake Bentley and Snowflake Bentley, and then the Science of Snowflakes, the little documentary, before you jumped right into this. If you didn't, go back and watch those. They're very good. They're very good, right? So today what you're going to need is a pair of scissors. Okay, I don't really care what kind of scissors you use. But you do want to use one that fits your hand. So if you have really small hands, the small scissors might be your best bet. But if your hands are bigger and you're used to using big scissors, then these are fine as well. Okay? It's important that you know how to hold the scissors correctly. I see a lot of students when I'm in school that are holding the scissors and they're trying to cut. I can't even do it, with their hands down, and they're trying to cut like this, and it's very difficult for them to get good cuts. First of all, they can't see what they're cutting, and second of all, it just isn't the correct way to hold the scissors. The correct way is to put the thumb on top and one or two fingers, if you have little scissors, in the bottom hole. If you have large scissors, again, you put the thumb in the small hole and 3 or 4 of your fingers in the large hole, and you hold your scissors this way, okay, with the thumb up, okay, because you want to be able to get this motion of your thumb going up and down. I turn it sideways, you can see. I'm doing all the cutting with my thumb. All right, this helps build the fine motors in your hands, and when you get the fine motors, the muscle motors in your hand strong, it helps you with holding the pencil, holding the markers, holding your paintbrush, and having more control. Okay, so we're going to build some fine motor skills with using our scissors. Okay, I'm going to start with the smaller scissors. I have little hands and I have more control with these scissors. And when we cut with the scissor, we want to use this part of the scissor down here where it's open wide. You want to bring the paper all the way down in here and cut. A lot of kids like to cut with the point. Take a piece of paper. They like to cut like this with the point, and that gives you a limited cut, and you have to do lots of little cutting. Also, this part of your scissors have a tendency to wear out real quick, and they get like notches and nicks in the blade, and so it doesn't cut as well. So if you use this part down in here where it's protected and not you get a nice, clean, large cut. All right, so that's what I want to say about scissors. The first thing that you're going to need now after that is a piece of paper. I'm using copy paper, but you can use your regular notebook paper. It doesn't matter, because we're going to cut it down to fit the size for the snowflakes anyway. All right, the snowflakes, you should always start with a square. Okay, always start with a square. And my paper here is rectangles, so that's a problem. So that means I've got to cut some of it off. And instead of measuring a perfect square, what I do is I bring this corner and I take it all the way over to this edge right here. All right, like that. And then I slide it down the edge until I get the two pieces lined up with each other. Okay, line it up, hold it with my hand, and then I make the crease. All right, so when I've done that, I've left this big section. I look like I got a triangle here, and I've left this big section, which I'm going to cut off. So I take my scissors and I put them right next to the folded piece of paper. You can see how it folds when it lays down. I'm going to cut right along that edge. And so again, I'm cutting back in here of the scissors. I open my scissors, I put it up the edge of the paper, and I make a nice snip. And I open them again, and I'm following right along that line. Okay? And okay, there you go. So now I have this nice right triangle. Okay? And I take this triangle and I'm going to fold it in half. And to do that, I will bring this point all the way over to, I'm going across the long side. I'm going to bring it all the way up and match it right there. Okay? And then fold it down. All right? So now I've got a three-sided triangle that all the sides are the same length. I don't know, that might be a little longer, but anyway, this still kind of looks like a right triangle to me. Okay, I turned it this way. There you go. Still a right triangle. So I'm going to take this corner, and I'm taking both pieces. I got two pieces there. I'm taking both pieces, and I'm going to bring it all the way over to here. Line them up. Line them up right there. And I fold down. Okay, so that's 3 folds that I've done. And you can stop there if you want to. I kind of like to go one more, all right, but it makes the paper thick, so it's a little more difficult to cut, but the more you practice, the better you cut, the smaller you can make the triangles. So let's start right here. All right, so to make snowflakes, what you want to do is we're going to take our pencil, all right, and I'm going to draw everything I'm going to cut away, okay? So I might make, start off by making a triangle, okay? That triangle gets cut out. See that? I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe I should use a marker. Let me find my marker. You can see it there. Use a marker. I'm going to cut that triangle away. Okay. And then I'm going to skip a part. Like you don't want to cut right next, each shape right next to each other. Okay. Because it really ends up making just a hole and not an actual shape. So you can put your finger down there and skip a space, and let's make a tall triangle right there. Color that in. That's what I cut away. Okay, do you see that? Okay. Is it blurry? I think it's kind of blurry, I'm sorry. But if I go too far away, you can't see it. All right. So You can make any shape you want. You don't have to make triangles. Sometimes I like to make like hooks, all right, like a hook, and I'll cut all of that away, all right, and then maybe a small triangle right there. Then you turn the triangle and you go along this line, okay, and you make another shape. So let's make like a house shape, see what that does. Okay, color that in, so I know I'm going to cut that away. And let's make another triangle. See how I skip spaces between each shape? Make sure you skip spaces. That's what holds the snowflake together. Okay, maybe right here I'll put a half circle. Put that in. Okay, and I turn my and I'll do it this way. Now, I have a lot of room right here, so I probably won't put a shape there. I don't want to make my shapes so small that they're too hard for me to cut. All right, so maybe I'll make a long rectangle to cut out. And let's see. Let's do a couple more triangles. Do another triangle. Oh, I think I'll put a hook on this side too. Like that. Okay. My marker's starting to go. And another little triangle. Okay. So, once you've done that, then your job is to take your scissors, all right, and start cutting out all your shapes that you made. You keep the triangle folded shut, okay, the whole time. Keep it folded shut. And then instead of moving my hand while I'm cutting, I move the paper. So I make my cut and I move the paper. And it just seems to be an easier way to go. Okay, does that make sense? And then we cut out the triangle. And I might cut one side and then go cut the other side. That. And that. Pentagon shape here. Okay. Then I go to the next side. And cut my shapes out. Remember, when you get these big shapes, it's easier to turn the paper than it is to turn the scissors. And I cut one side, and then I go back and cut the other side instead of trying to turn around. Okay. And get that one cut all the way. Go. All right. I have one more side to go. Now you make sure that you hold your paper shut. Okay. You're cutting. Turn the paper. All right. Two more. Remember to always cut down here in the bottom of the scissor. not at the top, not at the tip. Now, if you made shapes like I did right here, where it gets very close to this side, be real careful not to cut off your tip of your triangle. Okay, so now I've got this triangle that's got all these weird shapes cut out of it. All right, and when you open it up, you gotta open slow so you don't rip it apart. Okay. And you have a beautiful, fancy snowflake. Okay, and that's all there is to it. You just have to keep practicing. You can put shapes in the middle. Well, all the shapes that you cut that's on the fold side, those are all going to be the middle shapes that are inside, like in here. All right. Sometimes it's fun to take that corner and cut like a V in it, and that will give you a pattern on the inside, the very middle of your snowflake. Okay. So all it does is take practice. Circles, if you want circles, you draw a half circle on the fold, okay, or on the fold. If you want like heart shapes, I've seen people that really like heart shapes. Again, you do it on the folded edge, and you only put in half the heart, okay, which kind of looks like a teardrop, if you will. And then when you cut on that line, and again, turn your paper instead of your scissors, okay, then you get your heart shape, okay. And that's all there is to it. Have fun doing this today. Practice every time. Try to do different shapes with each one you make, and try to put lots of shapes in. All right? Have fun with that.